Sorry for that.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Shinobu Fujiki from Tokyo. I'm Ricoh's General Manager of Theater Business. I'm honored to have this wonderful opportunity for Ricoh to have the keynote speech at the year's IVRPA event in Belfast. Since we introduced the world's first 360-degree camera back in 2013, the market has changed a lot, and many companies entered this market. Let me show you the 360 camera market situation based on our perspective. The IVRPA members have been front runners in an evolution. With the recent change in the traditional camera market and the growth of 360 image sharing platforms, we have identified a new style of photography and, dare I say, a new evolution of species. As a company, Ricoh has been engaged to the imaging industry. However, with the strong decline in the demand for conventional cameras, Ricoh decided to create a new market and released multiple variations of 360 cameras. In the market, you can now find various types of, such as action cams, smartphone attachment type, and so on. Thanks to these activities, the 360 market had grown until the end of 2017. Last year, in 2018, we expected that the market would continue to grow, but the result was a stabilization in the market. The reason for this is 360 cameras are already saturated among early adopters who were initial buyers. Due to this market saturation, some 360 camera manufacturers go out of market. On the other hand, customers seem to have obvious purpose to use 360 cameras, like using 360-degree movie to create 2D video, use 360 still image for their creative activity. We think that due to these reasons, 360 cameras which don't have unique advantage go out of the market. For 2019, we expect users are looking for cameras with some added value, which is increasing the average price of the cameras, so that the market keeps growing in dollar basis. As you can imagine, cloud services using 360 images are really getting popular, like Zillow and Matterport in the US, and the real estate industry in China. Business usage, including these cloud services, will continue to grow. Our research shows more than 60% of theater users in United States are mainly used for theater for their business purposes. We believe the field in which you work are widely expanding. As you know, but quick review of 360-degree camera. Previous camera had fun and artistic skills by cutting out of a part of the world in frames. The 360 camera theater is different from that. It is possible to shoot all the space surrounding the photographer with just a single shot. As most of you will know, the Ricoh Theta is a camera which is handy and pocketable that shoots everything in 360 degrees with just a single shot. By just pressing the shutter, 360 photo or a video can be easily captured. The captured image can be enjoyed by freely moving and viewing 360 degree with Theta smartphone application. The original core value of Ricoh Theta is to share the excitement and emotion of the image to the world through social media for consumers. But nowadays, many users use Theta for their businesses. Let me talk about our history. Ricoh is the pioneer of 360-degree camera market. First Theta, it was world's first 360 camera in 2013. M15 had function of 360 video and release Open API SDK enable. Theta S, high resolution, 40 megapixel and live streaming. Theta SC, colorful and less expensive. Theta V, 4K video and Android OS. We have been progressing year on year since 2013. In our Theta series, the most focus point was to try making the camera as thin as possible, which means we tried enhancing the image quality in the stitching area. To achieve that, we adapt a folded optical system using a prism shown on the chart. CMOS sensors are sitting here and here, and the light comes through the lenses and bent the light 90 degrees by the prism, and then reach to this 1 by 2.3-inch image sensor. Thanks to this folded optical system, the image quality of Theta, especially the stitching area, is well acclaimed in the market. And the competitors are following to adapt this system. That is also the proof of the excellence of this system. But we were not satisfied with that, because professional photographers like you always told us they need more quality. So we decided to challenge more, and finally we launched the state-of-the-art model with a completely new folded optical system. This is Theta Z1. Theta Z1 is a flagship model of Theta, which is filled with camera manufacturers full of passion and technology. As a handheld 360-degree camera, this one achieves #1 high-quality still image, and also enables us to provide a Theta which responds to customers' creativity by superior operability and raw photography. We have further evolved Ricoh's unique bending optical technology. We newly developed the optic module that uses 3 prisms to make the light bend 3 times, which enable us to mount a larger 1.0-inch type image sensor inside a thin body with a thickness of 24 millimeters. This is the old one, this is the new one. Light comes through this lens, and here, #1 prism is sitting here, and bent to right direction. And #2 prism sitting here, and the light goes to down, And finally, this third prism bent the light to the back side. Here, you can see the 1-inch sensor located here. Even as a camera manufacturer, we can say this adapted structure is acrobatic or even crazy. You may imagine how high a level of optical engineering and manufacturing technology is required to realize this system. Because we are true camera manufacturers, we did it with our pride. The Z1 camera is equipped with a 1-inch type CMOS sensor, much larger than 1 by 2.3-inch type image sensor. This 1.0-inch backside illuminated CMOS image sensor outputs an image equivalent to still image resolution 6720 by 3360 and about 23 million pixels. It performs excellent noise reduction even when shooting at night or in dim rooms where high sensitivity is required, because it has a maximum ISO sensitivity of 6400. In the newly developed lens unit, aperture diaphragm is equipped with so that 3 aperture settings can be selected: f2.1, f3.5, f5.6. You can enjoy this new function, for instance, under the bright situation. More sense of resolution comes out if you set the camera at minimum f setting. Also, this new developed lens with IR cut filter achieved to reduce the ghost, flare, and purple fringe effectively. While we have developed a new optical module in Theta Z1, we have renewed the image processing algorithm. This enables us to obtain high-quality image with high resolution and less noise from low sensitivity to high sensitivity. Also, during normal shooting, it will process dynamic range correction by automatic judgment, which enables suppress overexposure effectively when shooting outdoors where there are contrasts. Also, for your professional use, we added many functions to Theta Z1, or LED monitor to see battery level, camera setting, and select plug-in without smartphone. Function button to switch from normal shooting to self-timer shooting easily. Magnesium body for lightweight and high robustness. Theta Z1 still have unique video function as 4K 30 frames per second, 360 spatial audio, 4K live streaming. Adding to that, we can enjoy advantage of the 1-inch sensor in the dark circumstances and various shoot settings as AC, TV, ISO, manual mode. And responding the demand from the professional photographer, Ricoh Theta Z1 is the first theta to offer raw capture. It outputs 12-bit DMZ and 8-bit JPEG, and you can develop and process imaging in RAW. Stitching plugin for Adobe Lightroom is freely available from Ricoh. Briefly, this chart shows how to develop and process the raw image. DNG raw images of dual fisheye comes out from Theta Z1. Then you do develop and process the raw image to JPEG. After that, you can create spherical images without visible stitching, lines, or defects when using Ricoh stitching plugin for Adobe Lightroom. With this Ricoh stitching plugin, it is also possible to freely change details for specific distances when stitching or orientation correction and zenith correction, as these are optical functions of the plugin. Then, if you'd like to, you can edit the created spherical images with Adobe Photoshop. We are disclosing Web API so that third-party developers can develop their original apps running on smartphones to control Theta camera for smartphones. Many companies already developed their apps for their services, like Google Street View. And the same as Theta V, Theta Z1 has an Android-based OS inside. You can enjoy additional function by installing apps called plugin onto Theta Z1 inside. You may confuse because plugin is the same name, but the one I explained in raw shooting was the plugin used with Adobe Lightrooms. The plugin in this section is the Android application installed on Theta V or Z1. Some plugins are made by Ricoh, and a third party can develop their original plugin by themselves, as we are distributing technical information to do. All the plugins are distributed through Ricoh Plugin Store. There are some examples of Ricoh-made plugins. Plugin for wireless live streaming, automatic face blur, and so on. And this time, we released very unique plugins. Time shift shooting plugin gives us the sum period between shooting with the front lens and with rear lens. With this plugin, you don't need to run or hide from cameras anymore, just standing the opposite side of the shooting lens. Using single lens shooting plugin, you can take picture with only front lens, like regular compact camera. VR media connection, this is a very interesting plugin. This can connect theater and head-mount display like Oculus Go, Lenovo, Mirage Solo directly. Once you connect, you can control the theater with your HMD and enjoy the movie and pictures. Although only internal storage is available, you can expand your storage via the file cloud upload to Google Drive or the USB data transfer to a wide variety of external memory devices with using these plugins. We heard your voice and developed Theta Z1 for you all. Now we have Theta SC for entry, Theta V for advanced, and finally, Theta Z1 for professional as flagship. We continue to develop 360-degree cameras with hearing your voice, like as Theta Z1. End of my presentation, I would like to take a picture with you all with Theta Z1. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And let me switch speaker to my wonderful colleague, Thijs Ekelschot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll do it like this. I'm very happy to be here again, standing in front of most of you that I've seen many times. I'll want to share, after the words from Shinobu, I want to share some practical things, some other things that Ricoh is working on in the world of 360. What we see between the launch of the first Theta back in 2013, now 2019, as a company we've evolved a lot. So the products are evolving a lot, the market has changed a lot, and there's many new applications for 360. You guys haven't changed a lot, so we're really happy to be meeting with each of you, because we recognize that as the IVRPA, you're very much at the forefront of all the 360 and panoramic photography. So we love to hear from you. Originally, when we launched Theta, for us, it was a consumer product. We wanted to enable young, funky, social media-oriented consumers to take 360 images. Take 360 images, share it on their social media platform, and therefore opening a whole wide variety of users for 360. These users would go from people that are traveling, or people that just want to create little planets, or even for on the water shooting, so very much related to consumer. But what we find is that we launched the Theta, and actually the demand for professional users was much higher than we originally anticipated. There's a lot of 360 sharing platforms available, but what we found is that there's a whole bunch of new markets that are opening up. You will be most acquainted to those as well. For us, we started in the real estate industry as a #1 market for Ricoh to introduce the Theta. But then we've grown from year on year through different markets, going from construction to the more travel-related industries like hotels. And we see that there's a whole new market for us, which is expanding. One of the core reason for us to be able to expand these is that we work with a lot of partners, and we strengthen partnerships. So as a company, we've gone out proactively seeking for new markets, but seeking for new partnerships as well. And these partnerships would range always in a mixture between product suppliers and service solution providers. And we see that for Theta, there's a strong mixture between people looking purely for hardware and people that are looking for solutions. Most of you will be in a service-oriented industry, and so as such, we as a hardware manufacturer, we like to share and speak with you on how we can make sure that our products meet the services that you want to propose, that you're working on. One of the initial partners we started to work with you, who most of you will be very familiar with, was obviously Google with Street View, linking Street View app to the Theta was for us very interesting. For some professional photographers, it may be complicated because we've opened up the creation of Google Street View content to a whole new market. This has been a #1 opportunity for us to get 360 out there. But then we've continued to expand that with the example from Adobe and the new launch of our plugin that Shinobu illustrated. The fact that you can now connect your Oculus directly into the Theta, you can see the content created with your Theta on a head-mount display. All these kinds of partnerships enable us to grow the uses of 360. This is purely from a business perspective, but then we've also strengthen partnership with companies that are actually proposing services. You will be aware with companies like Ogule and Matterport. I've listed some of them here. Obviously, there's thousands of them out there. Zillow and Autoscoot enables us to use third-party platforms and use Theta as an input device in order to drive content on these platforms. Obviously, not only limited to our products, competitor products can work with these platforms as well, but we try to improve bit by bit the connectivities, the hardware, the products that we have in order to be able to, that the partners are also happy to promote the products. This is the partnerships we've enabled purely from a business perspective. But Ricoh as a company is also creating its own solution. So Ricoh has launched a service which we called Ricoh 360. And basically we've taken the Theta, instead of just a standalone camera, which is being distributed, we've taken the Theta as an input device for a whole range of new services. So some of the services that we've developed are either purely taking the images taken with a Theta, but they can also work with the direct connections via the plugins that Shinobu introduced to us earlier today. Ricoh 360 is therefore a platform for us as a company to grow the users of 360 products and services. This market is growing. We have developed a whole range of services. Some of these are only used regionally in some countries. We haven't rolled everything out on a global basis, but what you will see in some of the examples that I've listed is that we're identifying which opportunities there are for the market of 360, and there's so many use cases and so many different users that we know that this market will continue to evolve. One of the first platforms that we started to develop, which is under the Ricoh 360 umbrella, is Ricoh Biz. Ricoh Biz enables people to take, share, edit 360 content and then use it to their own means. But we've also launched services such as Ricoh or 360 Ads. 360 Ads is basically if you want to create a 360 banner to promote your product, you can do so via this service and then publish that as advertising using Google Display Networks. So, for example, if you're a second-hand cars salesperson and you want to promote your car, you can create a 360 ad of the inside of your vehicle using our platform in order to promote your sales. But this can be for a multitude of different users as well. We've created 360 staging, VR staging, which uses 360 images and we enrich it with computer-generated technology in order to add content to it. So VR staging, you have your room which is empty, you want to put furniture in it, we use computer-generated technology in order to add content to that 360 image. Other things we're doing is more from a research side, 360 analysis, which is using hotspots or is looking at store locations where people are walking, are active, to see what areas there's a lot of people, conjunction. We use that for studying, for market research purposes can be used. Other things like VR presenters is linking the image that you've taken with a Theta in order to put it directly on your head-mount display in order for people to see see at the same time what the person is seeing in his head-mount display. And some more lighter, funny things like 360 Snaps, which is a Japanese service for editing and using 360 images to play around with it or print it on specific materials. And then lastly, as part of the 360 platform, obviously we've reached out a lot to the developers community. A product like Theta, since the launch of Theta V and now with the Z1, only comes to life with the developers community. The fact that we've integrated an Android-based operating system inside a camera is something which has not been done before. And so we're reaching out and we're speaking a lot to developers to find out how we can improve the way the products connect with each other and how they're being used. There's on the plugin stores, there's some really funky plugins that are developed which could be of interest, and we want to work with developers to find out new opportunities for these. And lastly is the Ricoh R development kit, which is a kit which we developed for live streaming 24 hours. So all of these are part of a platform that Ricoh is growing, and for services that in the future we want to continue to provide in order to have more and more people engaging with 360 content. So we invite everybody to come and test the Z1. Some of you here already have this. I remember the Vienna conference, I was in the room and everybody had a Theta in their hands at that time. So hopefully at the end of this conference, all of you will have a Z1 in your hands. We've brought we have some limited quantities here for those of you who are interested, but most important thing is come and play around with it. If you like it, try it, you can buy it. We have a special discount for IVRPA members. So come and speak to us on our booth. Ben, who's somewhere here in the room, gave me a nice quote, which I wanted to put on the screen. We want to compete with traditional DSLRs for image capturing in 360 with the Z1. It is, for us, it is the DSLR of 360 cameras, and so we hope you would agree with that as well. Finally, Sam has kindly agreed to take us on a tour. Most of you will know Sam, obviously. We wanted to give you the first-hand experience to test the Z1. So we have unfortunately only 10 cameras available for you to test, so to play around with it. But the idea is that some of you can go around with Sam for 2 sessions to test the Z1, and then afterward talk about the workflow of using and editing the 360 content. If you're interested to join these, please do so. You see the timings here mentioned on the screen. And also, I wanted to ask you, what about you earning money from promoting Z1? You have a wide variety of people that you're working with. We've created an affiliate program in order for people to actually earn dollars from selling the product. Come and speak to us on our booth. We've launched our affiliate program and we're really keen to get you as our new ambassadors for this product. So by doing so, you can also earn something. That is it from my part. Last slide. We are obviously on all social media channels, so please continue to follow us. If all goes well and he doesn't break anything, Ben will probably be on our Instagram account over the next few days, so you can, there he is, thank you, Ben. So you'll be able to see what is going on behind the screens on our official Instagram account. And obviously we're on all the other channels. I'm a horrible 360 photographer, but I am on Google Street View, and so feel free to connect there as well. So let's continue to work on the evolution together, and I thank you very much for your time today.
Okay, is this on? Yes, excellent. Okay, well, Thijs, don't run away. I'm sure we have some questions. I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity. He's coming back. Okay, so please just, I'll just ask that if you have a question, just stick your hand up. We have a couple of microphones, so we will come to you so that everyone can hear the question.
This is just an ignorant customer type question. The Theta S has a wired remote function, although a lot of people don't know about it. Does the Z1 have a wired remote function?
What do you mean with a wired remote control?
It means you can trigger the camera by pressing a button at the end of a wire.
With the wire.
With a wire, yes.
I'm
Bet you
looking on
didn't
the
know that
right.
about the S, but there is
Yeah,
a-
I know
there
it,
is
yes, but we tend to do it obviously with the mobile. Easy, you're looking for the wire.
It's
I
a
haven't
typical
tested.
selfie stick
Yeah.
trigger, but it's there
Yeah.
on the S, and I think it should be there on the Z1 if it isn't. But I'm just wondering if it is or not.
I will find out for you and come back to you. I don't know the question about it. The answer about it.
Do you know the high dynamic range and how big's the computer chip in it? How much memory?
19, internal memory, 19 gigabyte, but that's not, you're looking for the high dynamic range.
Yeah, what's the f-stop range? How many stops?
We're going until,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it like 8, 10?
I haven't measured.
16 would be great.
Yeah.
Any questions? Oh.
Yeah, we've got one back here.
Thijs, in Vienna, I wouldn't let you get away from me until you promised me an underwater housing, which I got. Any plans for one for the new Z1?
So obviously, we listened to you in Vienna. We got the underwater housing for V. Currently, that's the only one that is available. There are plans, but we're still studying to have this for Z1 as well. Underwater photography, we've done something. We had the underwater housing. We've created a plugin in order to do the shooting underwater in a more easy way. So yeah, we are conscious that this is a market. There's demand from the market for that, so we're very much conscious of that. Obviously, unfortunately, the size of the Z1 is slightly different, so we need to change cases, and so we need to speak with our manufacturers for that.
Morning. So I saw your side on many sectors. You're working on a lot of sectors, but I didn't see the education side. Are you thinking to collaborate on producing content for the education?
So, good question. I didn't include it. So in our partnerships, yes. In our own services, at the moment we don't have any education. So we work with some companies that are indeed doing training, VR training in 360. From a partnership perspective, yes, very much. Not so much from our own internal development yet.
Hello. Okay, George Pearl from Atlanta.
Hi, George.
The Theta cameras are quite susceptible to damage of lenses because they're just out in the open. I've got a Theta S with a damaged lens back in Atlanta. And I was just wondering about the construction of these cameras, if it would be possible that you would have the front element that would just screw on so the consumer could just buy a new front element and just screw it on.
So also something that we've learned, and from unfortunately own practice, we tend to scratch also regularly our cameras. Nowadays we can actually replace this, we can repair this. We couldn't do that in the past. Nowadays we can repair just the front. This is not something that you can do, but we as from an after sales perspective, we can repair the lenses. Thank you. Just don't break it. And then secondly, we've developed, we didn't bring samples here, but we've developed a special hood which can go on top of the lens, which would fit on your existing Thetas, but also for the Z1, that you can just plug on top of it to protect it. It's about this big protection case, and then we have the bigger cases as well. We were considering having, let's say, like your iPhone, you can put a protection case on top of that. We've done some tests with that, but we found that the reflection, due to that, the loss of light is too big for us in order to actually make that available from a commercial perspective. So this is not something that we're currently pursuing.
I have two questions. One is, internal memory is only 19 gigs. Why is it like that? And why didn't you create like external port for the micro SD cards?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So indeed, 19 gig internal memory. So we know that has some of its limitation. We have the solution that we have for this is twofold. One is you can connect external memory cards to your Theta and download the images directly on the device. And secondly, we've developed a plugin to upload it directly to Google Drive, the content. So that means that if your Theta is connected in client mode, your images taken with the Theta are uploaded directly to the Google Drive. So this way, it's not ideal. I hopefully with this one, I won't find any videos of you that have opened up the Theta, changed the memory card, broken it, because that doesn't work from a warranty perspective, but it's a way for us to still give you the opportunity to shoot lots of content using the same device.
Thank you very, very much. A big round of applause, please.